Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rob here, Rob Alasabas with TubeBuddy. We're back for another episode of the Creators Corner, and really excited about today. If you guys are looking to obviously reach your different milestones on YouTube and grow your channel, get to those silver play buttons and all those big milestones, this is going to be a session for you. We're going to be talking with my good friend Sidney Diongzon about how to get to where he's at, which is 100,000 subscribers very recently, and what not to do to get there. So really excited to have him on in just a second. But before we do, I want to make sure that I'm inviting you guys to learn about TubeBuddy. If this is just sort of your first little while being sort of in our world of TubeBuddy, there is a session that we do live every single week on Tuesdays called TubeBuddy 101. And we just do a really deep dive into some of the tools that you can use inside of TubeBuddy. And then we also do a live Q&A for the remainder of the time there. So go to tubebuddy.com/101, and that's where you'll find us. All right, so I'm going to bring Sidney on here in 2 seconds. Hey, Sidney, can you see me? Here we go. Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, yes, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, super excited to be here with you. Awesome. So guys, if you guys don't know Sidney, I'm going to pull up his channel here in 2 seconds. But Sidney is a professional filmmaker. He has been on YouTube for quite some time. He's going to tell you a little bit about that. But he just recently reached 100,000 subscribers. And so Sidney, congratulations, man. How's things?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It took a long time to get there, but finally made it.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a story of how I first met you last year, but why don't you introduce yourself, say hello to everyone that's tuning in live, and then we'll get into some of the questions.
Great. Hey guys, my name is Sidney Diongzon. I'm a filmmaker and photographer on YouTube. And yeah, I started out like many as a film student, went to film school, and was told to do the whole ladder. You go to a studio, you one day maybe write a spec script that in hopes of one day a producer might read it, and then you might get picked up, and there you become a professional filmmaker. But it wasn't until YouTube came along and disrupted the entire thing, where you can actually share your work online for free. And that was the thing, distribution. And so when YouTube came along and just wiped away the middleman, you no longer had to go to a studio. You can actually put out work that you did on your own for free for the whole world to see. When that came out, I was like, I need to do this. And so many years went along, and here I am, a YouTuber.
Yeah, that's right. A very good YouTuber at that. So when I first met, yeah, man, of course. So I met Sidney last year. Last year, I saw you in Dallas at Video Marketing World. And guys, I got to respect this man's hustle, because I literally saw him at the back of the room at this conference. He was about to speak. I think you were about to speak. And I was like, hey, Sidney, good to meet you. Been connected for a while. Looking forward to your talk. So he was about to go on stage. But right before he was going on stage, he was uploading his next video in the back of the room on his MacBook, like looking at all the keywords and stuff. So, it's always go, nonstop. So, dude, I'm really excited to learn from you today. Guys, if you guys are tuning in live, I'm seeing everyone tuning in here. We've got people from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So really excited to have all of you here. I see Gabe, I see Stephanie, I see Adrian, Graham. Good to see all of you guys. This is a conversation, so please let us know. Say hello to Sidney in the chat. And then also drop your questions in the chat as well. Just use hashtag Sidney. That way I can pull it out of the chat, because there's a lot of chat going on here. So I want to ask your questions. All right. So Sidney, today I want to pick your brain, because you just recently hit 100,000 subscribers. So first, tell us about that. Like, what's life now versus when you first started, and just kind of grinding, getting your first few thousand subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a difference of having 100,000 subscribers now versus having, 100 subscribers back then. The hustle is still the same, trying to figure out what content that's going to benefit the audience is still the same. And so it hasn't really changed so much, maybe emotionally. Maybe there's a bit more clout now because of that milestone. I don't know, maybe. And, obviously the whole plaque and all that stuff. And so I think it's something to celebrate, but not something to concentrate on, because if I were to just concentrate on just the 100,000 subscriber milestone, and that's it. Like, that's not me being a filmmaker. That's not me still continuing this journey. Like, regardless of the number, like, I just want to create stories and I want to help people along the way. And so that's the thing that I try to remember.
Yeah. So no, it's cool, man. So there's really not much that's changed. There's a little bit of clout now. So I imagine that obviously you're getting way more reach. There's probably opportunities that are opening up for you as as you have the silver play button and all that. By the way, did that arrive yet? Did you get the
No,
silver
not
play?
yet. So if you did cross the threshold of 100,000, what they told me is that you'll get a notification automatically on your YouTube dashboard, and then there you can apply, and then they fill it out. I think they have to like check your background or something like that to make sure you're not a bot, and then they'll send you the plaque. And so there's that. Just so you guys are wondering.
Yeah, no, that's good. So you got to wait a little bit. Yeah, and that's awesome. So we're getting some questions here, and Fainberg Paul, I see your question here. That's awesome. Keep dropping your questions, guys. So I want to ask Sidney a couple questions, and then we'll get into some Q&A here. So again, if you can, use hashtag Sidney. That's great. I see people asking that.
Now.
You are a hashtag now. You've been hashtag. You're official. No, it's good. It's great. And by the way, let people know where you're at, just so they get some framework of where you're based out of.
I'm based in Dallas, Texas. Well,
Dallas,
specifically the DFW area. So I live in a town called McKinney, which is about 30 miles north of Dallas. But I say Dallas because everyone knows where Dallas is.
That's awesome. There you go. It's where all the Filipinos live. No, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just making that up. I don't even know. No, that's great. Okay, so Sidney, really, I want to get some nuggets here out of you as to what you've learned along the way, right? Like right now, people are starting, or maybe they're scaling, maybe they're at 100 subscribers, 1,000, a few thousand, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50,000, wherever they're at. What are some of those lessons that you've learned along the way to get you to grow your channel? And let's focus on growing your channel. Of course, as a creator, it's not all about numbers, but it makes things funner, right? When you can measure things by numbers. So what are some of those things that helped you grow as you were going? Like, what are some of the lessons there? So if you can share a couple of those with us.
So the first lesson I think is crucially important is to not overthink. I think as we're growing our channel, we tend to think of the algorithm. We tend to think of the thumbnail, the title, the tags, the descriptions, all that stuff. And while all that is great and it does help grow your channel, it's not the thing that's going to grow your channel. You know what I mean? And so for me, when I first started my first 10 videos, I copied Casey Neistat like to a T, because I thought by copying his style, copying his music, his thumbnails, all that stuff, I thought would help grow my channel, or at least jumpstart it, but it didn't. I overthought it, and I would watch, Sean Cannell, and I'd watch, Tim Schmoyer, and like all their tips and stuff like that, and how to grow a YouTube channel. And it was enlightening stuff for sure, but I was so focused on growing a channel versus just creating content that's meaningful. And that's the key. Once you start to learn that your content has to be meaningful, then it's going to be meaningful for your audience. And then once they watch a video that's meaningful for them, they're going to want to subscribe. And that's how you grow. And so the first lesson is to not overthink. You just create because you have a story to tell, and tell it meaningfully, and trust the fact that your story is going to reach people that are like-minded like you. Because for me, my goal is not to have everyone in the entire world subscribe to me, because, the stuff that I make is only going to pertain to filmmakers and photographers. That's my group. That's my tribe. And so I want to make content that's going to help them, not necessarily the gamers, not necessarily the entrepreneurs per se, but this specific group of people that I cater to, because it's content that I love making. It's content that I want to watch and listen to. And so it kind of makes sense to make content based, on your tribe. You know what I mean? And so
like that.
Don't overthink it.
Like that. So don't overthink it. So, as far as like how far, like when you were at like, let's just pick a number, but like, much earlier in the game, like 10,000 subscribers, were you very, very focused already on filmmaking content, or was that something that you discovered more down the road?
I think it was about around that time that I realized that making content that's meaningful for me and for other people was the winning thing. I think before then I was so focused on growth and the hacks and the algorithm, all that stuff. When I was actually like ready to quit after 10 videos in, I was like, screw this. This is not it. I'm putting all this effort. It's not going to work out. You know what? I'm just going to make a video that's meaningful for me, something that I like making. Funny enough, it was that one video that started growing my YouTube channel really quickly, and I got like maybe 10,000 subscribers like in 2 months, all because I decided I switched my mentality. So how crazy is that?
So there was a turning point. There was like one video that kind of blew things up for you.
Yeah, it was one of my very first film journals where basically I love making videos of my favorite moments in life. I think this was a family video. And you know, I just bought a new camera to make that video, but for some reason, because I made it, that was for me. I made a video for me that related to a lot of people, and then they started asking, "How did you film it? Oh, you use this camera? Oh my gosh, I've been thinking about getting this camera." And then I started engaging in the comment section, saying, "Hey, I did this, I did that." Then people started telling me, "Can you make a tutorial on how to shoot a video like that?" And then because of that, I started making tutorial videos because people were interested in how I made this beautifully shot video with a very cheap, well, relatively cheap camera. And so then that's what started growing my channel, man.
Got it. Got it. It's okay. So really, don't overthink. So that's the first tip right there, guys. So don't overthink, because right now we do a lot of planning. We're like, okay, the keywords, I mean, they're important, right? If you want to grow your channel, all these analytics and all these algorithms, you got to understand the game and the rules of the game, you know, before you can start dominating in it. So, you know, it's really good to, but I love your message of just don't overthink it. So there's some really good questions here. I love all these questions. I can't wait to get into them. So please keep dropping your questions in the comments, guys. Awesome. So don't overthink. Next tip. Next, do not do to get to where you're at.
Okay, so tip number 2, don't hold back. Give it your all. I mean, if you're going to be a YouTuber, if you're going to be a filmmaker, if you're going to film yourself, you have to go all out. You have to be you. And it's not necessarily like, you know, be over the top excited, over the top happy, whatever. It's like, no, you have to be true to yourself, but don't hold back. If you're making a video about plants, then, you know, then go all out on it. Show them your plant collection. Show them why you love snake plants versus normal, you know, I don't know, ferns, or I don't know plants. But, you know, don't hold back. If you want to reach out to a YouTuber that's in the same genre, then reach out to them, see if they want to collab. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid, because what people are looking for on YouTube are people with confidence, people that know their stuff, people that aren't going to be afraid to be themselves. Because, you know, if people like you, it's probably because they are like you. And so to see someone that's confident, to see someone that's not afraid to say all these things, to make a tutorial about a camera, or to vlog at a beach that they used to go to when they were kids, like that's relatable stuff, you know. And so you want to make sure that you just don't hold back. Well, not only your personality on screen, but just with the content that you're making, you yourself as a business person. Because if you are going to be a YouTuber, that means you're going to be a business person. So don't hold back. Don't hold back reaching out to sponsors. In fact, when I had funny story, when I had 500 subscribers, I was super pumped. I was like, oh, halfway to 1,000. This is crazy cool. Maybe at 1,000, I can start reaching out to brands and get my first brand deal. But then I thought, wait a minute, hold on. What's stopping me from asking right now? So I decided to reach out to one of my favorite backpack companies, Think Tank. And I looked up their emails, figured out who the head of marketing was, and I found their number on LinkedIn. And so instead of sending them an email, I actually called the head of marketing on his cell phone and said, "Hey," and I didn't think he was going to pick up, but he picked up and he said, "Hi, hello." And I'm like, "Hi, my name is Sidney Diongzon. I'm an up and coming YouTuber. I've been using your backpacks for years. I was wondering if you'd be interested in a collaboration where I get to review this specific backpack." And I think because he was caught off guard, he kind of was forced to say yes. But then we connected. We're still friends. It's a funny story because, you know, you had that mindset that you can't make brand deals until you reach a certain number, right? But it's not that. It's your confidence. It's your willingness to be bold, your willingness to not hold back and reach out to these brands so that you can actually do these things. And so yeah, I made my first brand deal at 500 subscribers. So all because I didn't hold back.
That's amazing. Great tip. Great tip. Again, for smaller creators, you know, creators with a smaller subscriber base. I think it's been said before as well by Owen Hemsath, Owen Video. So don't hold back, right? Don't wait for a certain amount of subscribers. So I love that. Don't hold back on reaching out. Don't hold back on collaborations. Don't hold back on sharing your knowledge. There's a lot of people out there, Sidney, a lot of creators out there that also kind of like, they're weary of sharing all their knowledge, because it's like, well, I want to charge for coaching. I want to charge for my courses. Like, why would I share that for free on YouTube when I can, I want to charge for that stuff. I want that stuff to be, behind a paywall. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think you have to share everything. I think Gary Vee said it, like, you have to give value to people. It's give your best stuff. And because you're giving your best stuff, people are going to be like, wow, this guy's giving me all this free content that's extremely valuable, extremely informative. Then it makes me wonder, he has a course. Oh, okay. He has a coaching program. I wonder what else is this person going to provide for me? You know what I mean? And I think for a creator, that's where you get creative. Not only do you provide your best stuff for free on the internet, but with something like a course or a coaching program, like you go deeper, because with those things, it's all about relationships, right? You want to make sure that you see your customers grow, your clients grow because of that relationship. And so, so I have a course called Storytelling That Wins, and it's basically everything that I learned at film school just packed into a weekend, session a course that you can just learn in a weekend. And so so I go deeper. I go a lot deeper. So not only do I mention the free stuff, the stuff that I mentioned on my YouTube channel, but I go a little bit deeper into the storytelling aspects. I go deeper, so it's more of an in-depth kind of thing. It's providing value, but providing value in different ways, in different mediums.
Yep, absolutely. So don't hold back. That's great. Speaking of, so this is Sidney's course, and I will share all the links in the comments, in the chats. But you can find this course on your website, from your website, but I'll share all of that, SidneyDiongzon.com. Also, Gabe here, who is also very near where you are actually geographically in Dallas, he said, how can I reach out to Sidney? So Sidney, before, let's just get that out of the way. What's the best? We're still going to go, guys. This is just the beginning. But
come on.
But the people that want to reach out to Sidney, what's the best way? Because I think Gabe actually wants to reach out for coaching and consulting and stuff.
Oh, that's fine. So, DMs, man. DMs is the way to go. Like Instagram, follow me there. Twitter, follow me there. Send me DMs.
There you go. There you go, Gabe. So DMs. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to just jump into some questions. I still have some questions I want to ask, but I want to make sure I'm asking some of these from you guys as well. Okay, so start dropping your questions in the chat. Here we go. All right. So, okay. Well, actually, no, this one's already been asked. So how can I learn from such a pro like yourself, Sidney? Do you have coaching? Might be a really good time. What is the business behind your content? Because I know you do you have brand deals with Mazda and different brands and stuff like that. So can you share some of that? I think a lot of creators don't share that enough. So behind what they see on your channel, what is the business behind it?
So great question. So as a YouTuber, not only do you earn an income from YouTube, but I make a lot of gear review videos, and so with that, I make product reviews on a certain camera or maybe lens or an audio mic or whatever. And with those specific videos, I say, hey, if you're interested in these products, there are links below if you want to check them out. And with those links are what's called affiliate links. And so things, Amazon, people probably know this, but Amazon has a great program, an affiliate program, where if people buy off that specific link, you get a small commission from that. And it's not just Amazon too, but B&H has them, Target has them, specific companies have them. That's a great way to earn passive income if you review products online. So that's one. And the other, of course, is sponsorships and brand deals. And they come ever so often. Fortunately, they've been coming pretty regularly to me. So, getting to work with amazing companies that I never thought I'd work with, companies like Mazda, Google, Sony, I'm friends with them now, which is crazy, right? And so we get to work on great projects, paid projects, but projects what's great about these companies is that they say, hey, how can we support you? And I say, well, I had this idea for a video. Would you be up for sponsoring a car for this amazing road trip and stuff like that? And so I love that I get to work with brands that support me as a creator, but also at the same time, it helps promote them. So it's like a win-win situation. And so that's the core of my business. And I'm starting to expand by doing courses. So I go in depth into what storytelling is. I'm going to do more courses into lighting, specific camera settings, stuff like that. And then pretty soon I'll be launching some coaching programs, because I think I didn't realize this, but I like teaching. I really do. And I think as much as I love creating content for YouTube, my favorite thing in the world is to see people go from where they are and see them get to where they need to be. And so like a long time ago when I first started photography, I invited a bunch of my friends who just bought their first camera, and I said, hey, let's just do a cool themed photo shoot and we'll just hang out and just learn from each other. But because of that, you know, a few of my friends from that like grew to be like these world-renowned wedding photographers, like doing 10 to 15K a wedding, traveling everywhere and stuff like that, all because, you know, they started with this little thing that I did, and I got to be a part of that. And I love that, man. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people grow from when they had 50 subscribers to now 1,200 subscribers. Like, I love seeing people grow and knowing that I got to be a little bit of a part of that story. And so yeah, so that's what what I'm about to do. Just do these coaching programs. I really want to do like this tour. Like once all this is over, do like this worldwide tour of doing these like workshops and helping people like, you know, set up a shot, how to light a scene, how to do YouTube, stuff like that. And so, yeah, those are in the works.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember before the lockdown, man, you had a thing planned for Bali or something. And I was like, that would be cool to hang out with you in Bali and learn about cameras. So hopefully you do that again once you know, once things are back to
all this is over,
a new normal. Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm gonna dive into Q&A, guys. So let's drop all the questions in there. I'm gonna go through the chat now. So right. Sidney, you ready to go? Zach, good to see you, man. Good to see you here. A good man, Zach, is here. Good stuff. Awesome. So first question, Stephanie Carper's asking, what's your best advice on creating your first digital product? I'm new to my niche and not sure how soon is too soon, as I'm still providing new content to my subscribers in this niche. So perfect guy to ask. You've got your own online course now. You also, I don't know if it's not really digital products, I guess, like, you know, filters and stuff like that, but we can get into that as well. But yeah, first digital product, what's your thoughts?
I think digital products are great to sell. Like like for example, you know, in my film journal series, like they're more intentional when I shoot them. Like they're more, I want to make them more like a movie, I guess. And I use specific presets and my color grading is specific to that series. And I always tag at the end or even in the descriptions in my YouTube videos, like, hey, you know, if you want to make your videos look like this, here are my presets, here are my LUTs. This is what I use personally for my videos and my photos. And if you are interested, then by all means, you can download them if you want to. And so I think selling digital products that way is a great way to sell them. Not be so much salesy. Like I wouldn't say, oh, hey guys, you know, I'm selling this this LUT. It's the best LUT in the world, whatever. It's like I've noticed in my sales, like I don't do too well if I ever do that. But if I just do it naturally, you know, in my tutorials or just, you know, put it in my descriptions, then I tend to make better sales that way. So yeah, so digital products can include things like presets. If you are a photographer and you make presets in Lightroom or Lightroom Mobile, which is on your phone, or if you make video, you can make things like LUTs or presets or project templates like in Premiere Pro. So yeah, so sky's the limit when it comes to digital products. The great thing about that is that you don't have to worry about the lack of inventory. It's unlimited. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that. And so yeah, if you can, whatever niche you're in, yeah, think of creative ways to make a digital product, whether it's a preset LUT or even a downloadable PDF. Like that's a great way to, you know, to make passive income and you know, earn some money that way.
Yeah, great answer. So Stephanie, let us know if that answers your question. Also, if you're thinking of a specific type of digital product as well. So whether it's like a course or, you know, like what Sidney said there, templates or things like that, let us know. All right. So Laura Kellen May has a question. How have YouTube thumbnails evolved since you've started? So let's just talk about your thumbnails. Like, how has your thumbnails evolved? Because your thumbnails are killer. They're so good. Of course, you're a filmmaker, you're a creative guy, but yeah, how have your thumbnails evolved, you know, over the years?
That's a great question. They've evolved in the sense of me adding more personality to it, you know, to personify your thumbnails. If you think of thumbnails as like a billboard, it's meant to like stop you in your tracks, right? It's like a big old stop sign saying, hey, this is what the video is about. And so I've intentionally, this is a fun little hack if you guys want to try this, but whenever I make future videos, I actually think of the thumbnails first. Yeah. I think of the thumbnails first because I'm like, wow, that image is going to be really cool. I wonder what kind of video I can make out of that. You know what I mean? Like there's a video I did recently with some, it's called 5 at-home camera hacks, and I knew the image that I wanted. It was of the.
Oh, I see that. Yep.
You see it, and so where is that thumbnail? There it is. So yeah, so basically I have this axe and I have this flint, and I just would scrape it across to create sparks. I thought that would be such a cool video. You know what I mean? And so what's funny about that is that video actually didn't perform well in the first 24 hours. But because of the thumbnail, title, tags, and all that stuff, it's growing gradually to where I know it's going to grow to a larger number in the long run. So I'm going to trust in that. And because it's such a fun thumbnail, it's great. And so I kind of think of the thumbnail first. But what I've learned is that you want to have a central focal point in your thumbnails. Lately, I've been adding my face in them more because I learned from a good friend of mine, Jeremy Vest. He has this great philosophy on thumbnails and how if people see the whites of your eyes, then you're going to have an increased probability of people clicking on that video because it's personified, because people see you. And so lately, like in my, if you see that video thumbnail, the Canon EOS R5, it's gotten quite a lot of views because I'm
doing really well.
I'm showing my eyes, I'm showing what the topic is about, and so people have an idea of what it is based on the thumbnail. And with things like, if people are looking at your eyes, if they can see it, then there's a good chance then they're going to click on it. It doesn't happen all the time, but at least you'll have the best chance possible.
Yeah. It's doing really well. Like that is like by far, pretty like of all the recent videos, it's doing like probably the best.
Yep.
But yeah, it shows your face expression. It shows the cameras as well. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to learn about cameras here. So yeah, no, that's great. So Laura, hopefully that has answered your question there. Good question. Okay, got a question here from Gabe. So Gabe is asking, what are some of the creative ways you can make content that draws viewers and ultimately subscribers? So maybe sort of what this question is asking is, what are you doing in the videos to grow intentionally your subscribers? Like, are you asking for people to subscribe in the beginning, middle, end? Like, what are some of those tactics? Are you doing it as graphics? What's your style there?
Okay, you ready for this? I'm going to give you like a really cool hack. Okay, I call it the 5-second rule. If you don't make something compelling, something that stands out, something that's going to grab your audience's attention in the first 5 seconds, if you don't do that, then you've lost them already. So whatever it is, do something in the first 5 seconds, whether it's a preview of what's going to happen later in the video or just or something funny or whatever it is. If you do something in the first 5 seconds, maybe even 7 seconds, then there's a chance that people will continue to watch, increase your watch time, right? But also a good chance for them to subscribe because you got their attention. Because you can't grow your channel, you can't sell something unless you grab the attention, people's attention first. Grab their attention. And so, yeah, so that's my rule. That's the thing that I put on myself. Personally, it's the 5-second rule. I need to do something that's going to grab their attention in the first 5 seconds so that they can continue watching the rest of the video and hopefully for them to subscribe to my channel.
Got it. So first 5-second rule, guys. So within that 5 seconds, you've got their attention, and then you're putting some type of call to action to subscribe.
Yes, there's always a call to action to subscribe, whether it's verbally or I always have like an end screen, whether they can subscribe or watch my other videos. You can also do things like, throughout the video, like add cards. So cards are the little pop-up that shows in the top right of the screen. Usually I place them at the 2-minute mark or 2 to 4 minute mark because that's when people start losing attention. But if you place something that pops up in that 2-minute mark, 2 to 4 minute mark, then people might be like, oh, wow, this video might be more appealing to me. I'm going to click on that. And so that's a cool way to keep people's attention to your channel.
Great. That's good. Good tips. Okay, awesome. Okay, next question here from Feinberg Paul on Twitter. Any tips to make great catchy titles? I use 2-bitty keywords. That's great. Yeah. So how do you craft your titles? Are you thinking of keywords at this point? 100K? Because I'm thinking of like Peter McKinnon, right? Like he just doesn't care. Like there's no tags. It's just like, I'm just going to put up whatever I want. So are you sort of like going that direction now, that you are like, I guess like my question here is, yes, titles, but are your views mostly based on your subscribers or are they more searchable or a bit of both?
A bit of both. I think I fall more in the searchable category. And so still, I'm not at the point where I can just put whatever title I want, like Casey or Peter, and then I'll get like, 100,000 views. I still have to do specific keywords. I think, this is my theory, if you don't average like 50,000 views per video, then I still think you need to put keywords. You need to be specific. And so that's using tools like TubeBuddy or, Google Trends to finding specific keywords, things that are trending at the moment, and things that are just kind of relatable. And so, yeah, I'm still sticking to that. And I think once I reach that threshold, once I reach that number, that average views, then I can maybe be more playful with the titles. But I think for many people, and I think that goes for maybe 80% of people, even the bigger creators out there, it's so important to use those specific keywords, because at the end of the day, YouTube is a search platform. You have to play to the algorithm, unfortunately. And so, but the great thing is that you can play to the algorithm, and there are certain ways for you to take advantage of that if you use specific keywords.
Excellent. Awesome. Yeah. And just to add on to that, Feinberg Paul, I would say that you definitely need to use your keywords, but also you need to make your titles compelling. You need to spark curiosity and sort of get people's attention in your titles as well. So if you look at all of Sidney's keywords, 5 ways to stay motivated as a YouTuber, easiest step-by-step guide to color grading video, so he's got the keywords in there, but he's also doing a really good job of making it really compelling, right? So it sparks curiosity to make you click. It doesn't really hurt. It hasn't hurt that his thumbnails are just like killer too. But yeah, those are in combination works really well. Awesome.
And can I add to that?
Yeah, of course.
If your video, if you put out a video and then it doesn't really do too well, you can actually still change the title of your video and see if it increases views and subscriptions. Like, it happens all the time, and I do it on an hour per hour basis. And so if the first hour I don't get a certain amount of views, or like I don't get that, then I kind of change the title. I might change the thumbnail, and most often than not, I will see a surge of views because I made those changes. Yeah. So that's a great thing. You can always make changes if you want to.
Yep, absolutely. That's good. Awesome. So Feinberg Paul, hopefully that helps. Zach and Planet Prince, I see your questions, but I'm going to ask Barry's question here first really quick. Barry's asking, I'm having difficulty picking a niche. I want to do something that involves music, filmmaking, and business, but I feel like doing anything music related should be a separate channel. What's your thoughts on that? So yeah, maybe Barry, let us know a little bit about what your existing channel is right now. If it's already about business mostly, or filmmaking. But yeah, let us know. But what's your thoughts on picking topics, a niche for your channel?
Yeah, this is great because it goes along to what we're going to talk about, like how to stay focused and in your lane. You have to narrow down. Like, I know you want to do a lot of different things, but they're not really related. If you're going to do film, stick with film. If you're going to do business, stick with business. If you're going to do music, stick with music. You can't really, at least not yet, not in the very beginning, you can't really marry all those things together. Maybe down the line, like once you're a bigger creator, you can, maybe weave through those different niches. But as of the moment, if you are growing, and that applies for me as well, you have to find your niche and stick to it. Like, you have to look at what videos worked and double down on that kind of content. I can't just make a video about a camera and lens and then all of a sudden talk about a glass of water. It doesn't make sense. It's not what my audience wants. You know what I mean? And so you just have to choose. And that might be one of the hardest things when starting out a YouTube channel, is just finding out that niche. And I would just say, just play around with it first, see which one sticks. And then if you see something that grows, like a video, maybe it is music, maybe it's a music video that works, then hey, double down on it, and that's what your channel is about. And so, yeah, I would do that.
Good, it's good. Awesome, Barry. Hopefully that helps your question there. Let us know if you have a follow up. Okay, Planet Prince on Twitter is asking, what have you learned about content creation during quarantine and not able to go out? We were just talking about this. How as a creator you can do all sorts of things from home. So yeah, what have you learned, man? Being locked down for the last little bit.
I learned that because all these things are kind of stripped away, I can't travel anywhere. I can't, do all these fun travel vlogs or whatever, that I had to rely on my creativity to create content, and I love that. I love when like creators are being stripped away from like all the fancy gadgets, all these things, these locations, these set designs, whatever, but you're just forced to think of something outside the box and create something creative. And that's why I made that video, 5 camera hacks to do at home. And I came up with this really cool idea where you get to use a stock footage downloaded from a stock footage site and place it on the background of your computer. but then you place an object in front of it and you've created like this beautiful set, like this almost fake background. Even things like, using an iPad light to create as a key light for like a product. Like in that video, you'll see how I lit an iPhone promo by using just the light coming from an iPad. And using an axe and a flint to like create sparks to create action in a scene. And so yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, all this is taken away. All right, creative brain, let's do some work. Let's get creative. And I think, and I'm very bullish on humans anyway. Like I think when push comes to shove, like almost always innovation and creativity come out. And that's what I think you just have to trust on. You have to trust in your own creativity.
Great. And I love what you did there, man. I remember some of the Instagram stories of that. Like, it looks so good. Like, I thought it was like a real set. I was like, what is
crazy,
this? Like,
right?
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. We got Peter Gray here saying Sidney Diongzon is the greatest of all time. It's awesome.
That's my homeboy, Peter.
What's up, Peter? Good to see you here. Feinberg Paul says he needs to put his kid down for a nap. So good for him. Thanks for hanging out with us. Again, being locked down. It's all good. All good. There's a replay available, so if you want to catch it.
Yes.
Okay, Zach, my boy Zach Scrivens here's asking, if you pivot a channel, does YouTube penalize you in any way? I've recently pivoted to real estate and have been doing that for the last few months. I've seen channels just started a few months ago grow quicker. Good question, man. Good question. So channel about one thing, pivots to something completely different. Thoughts on that, or is it time to?
It's a gamble, I would say. But I like to think of your YouTube channel like a tree, right? You're growing this tree because you're sticking to a specific niche, and as you're growing, and as a tree grows, you have branches, and so you can branch off and do things that are somewhat related, but still in your niche. Like for example, I do a lot of travel videos, but my niche is all about cameras and lenses and just filmmaking in general. And so based on that tree, my filmmaking tree, I can branch off and do a filmmaking tutorial or a camera gear review while going to Bali or to Lake Tahoe or whatever. So you have to find a way to bring it back to that center niche of what your channel is about. So you know what I mean? So just if you think of it as trees growing branches, you can be creative and think of other things that can relate back to that central niche.
Right, exactly. And also, Zach, it might also be, and sometimes you are very attached to our channel, and sometimes maybe it is, if it's a totally new topic, and depending on how many subscribers you have, it may be a time for a new channel. Because the subscribers maybe didn't come for real estate, right? They came for your previous content, and now it's a disconnect. So it's almost probably better that you start with a new channel, because then you have a fresh start, and the people that are, if you stick with the current channel but try to change up the topic, you're not going to get the views and you're not going to get the engagement and stuff. So it might hurt your channel in that way. So just a thought as well. But yeah, really, really good question. Awesome. Okay, got a question here from Gabe again. Should I do a separate channel for video coaching? I do a live stream show nightly, but want to get into sharing my experiences and learning video streaming. So there's a show, and then Gabe also wants to share his knowledge and be more of a coach for people that want to live stream. So should that be a separate channel?
I'd experiment, just see how it goes. Maybe try it for the next 3 videos, maybe weave it, with your other content. And if it doesn't work, then, maybe, create a separate channel. But again, YouTube is a search platform, and, people come to your channel because they are expecting certain things. And so, but, it doesn't hurt to experiment.
Yeah. No, that's good. Awesome. So hopefully that helps you, Gabe. All right. So I'm just going to go through here, but I think we answered a lot of these questions already. And I want to respect your time, Sidney. I know you're a busy man.
I think I'm frozen, by the way.
I think you're frozen.
Shot. Look at that. Oh, can that be the thumbnail? Oh my goodness. I love that.
We are screenshotting it now. No.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I'm gonna take you off screen and then put you back in. All right, our man Sidney's just frozen here, but
I need to refresh it. If I refresh it, will that? Okay, let me refresh.
Yeah, I think you're refreshed. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, no, thanks for hanging out, guys. Let us know if you have any other questions. I'm going to be putting all of the links for Sidney in the chat. But Sidney, I think that's probably a good sign that we're freezing up here. Yeah, what's the best place to connect with you? I think there's a lot of people here that have more questions. They might want to reach out for you for coaching, consulting on their channels.
Means, yes.
Where can they catch you?
Just catch me on all the social media channels. Just send me a DM on Instagram, Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. And yeah, I do my best to reach back to and reply to the people that send me DMs. And so it might take some time, but I do my best to reply. So yeah, that's the best way to contact me.
Awesome. Sidney, thank you so much, man. Hoping to head out to Dallas at some point when things get back to normal. Hang out with you again and the whole Dallas crew over there. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys, on the live. Thank you for hanging out. Continue the conversation with Sidney. Reach out to him in just probably 10 minutes or so. I'll drop all the links to Sidney's contacts and social channels in the chat. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys in the next session.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.